I'm author Mark Muncy,
And I'm author Erika Lance.
and this is Eerie Travels. Greetings, travelers.
Greetings,
Yes,
travelers.
welcome to our, I guess this is one of our first ever all listener stories
It is. It's
episodes.
the inaugural episode of Listener Tales.
We have been getting so much information from you all and so many emails and comments on videos and comments from the podcast. Thank you all so much. It really does. It sends us into a crazy heart spiral. We're just so happy. So
yes, send us more too. Please send more.
We want many more of these because this is crazy stuff. We love it. So
yes, go to
EerieTravels.com. Crazy in a fun way.
Yeah. Oh, aren't you going to an event soon?
Oh, yes. So this episode should be airing, if all goes according to plan, right before the Central Florida Bigfoot Conference. Or I'm sorry, the Great Florida Bigfoot Conference, because, hey, they're growing, and it's in Ocala this year. It was in Lakeland last year, and it outgrew the center. So it's going to where we go to our wonderful Spookala event in the Ocala Equestrian Center. And man, this one is April 22nd. And they've got a huge lineup of Bigfoot speakers and authors and other people. And hey, your friendly local Eerie Travels host is going to be there as part of the Florida Bigfoot Roundtable that ends the day, which is pretty crazy. I'm very happy. I mean, we've got some big names going to be there. David Pilates from Missing 411. Dr. Jeff Meldrum's going to be there. And then, yours truly. Wow. Come on. Up there with those guys, that's nuts. So
that is true. That is amazing. And hopefully we'll see, but I think the entire Eerie Travels crew might be able to be there, which
we're trying our best. So if we can
awesome.
We can drag you down from the foothills up there.
Well, I honestly, I'm just going to have to see whether or not I'm hiding from Bigfoot because it seems to be the theme. I feel like all I'm going to do every time we log into these episodes is announce, but apparently a train passenger got a picture of Bigfoot in the Rocky Mountains.
Do you mean we have breaking news?
We have breaking news.
I love that little tune.
Yes, I agree. So apparently a passenger aboard a tourist train in Colorado snapped a photo that appears to be a Bigfoot standing in the wilderness. So apparently it was taken by a gentleman named Brian riding the Georgetown Loop Railroad.
Good job, Brian.
Apparently it's like a cute little passenger train, like with open windows, and they just go like a couple miles, and it's like
tour train.
Yeah. But if you look at this picture, and it's we'll put the link in the show notes, Coast to Coast AM. Apparently this was taken in September and only now is coming to light because it was reported to the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization, which
always report.
Yeah. And I didn't know there was a Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Organization. So cool to know that. Anyway, it's, they were joking that maybe this thing was placed along the ride to surprise people, but the train company said no. So there is apparently not a faux Bigfoot. So who knows what it is, but is it a Bigfoot? Is it not? You guys should take a look. Let us know what you think. But Mark, isn't there somewhere people should report things to? There is an organization, right?
There is a major organization called the Bigfoot Research Organization, the BFRO. You'll hear us call that occasionally. And it's the BFRO.com. And that's where you can report your sightings. And they have a database that collates all the sightings so that your sighting might corroborate somebody else's sighting and stuff like that. And that's the sort of thing, if you don't want to report to them, because I know some people think that's a conspiracy theory site where they're gathering the information to hunt them and chase them. No, this is an organization just to document them. But if you if you don't feel comfortable doing that, tell your local team, reach out to the local organizations, Google search, Florida Bigfoot or, New Jersey Bigfoot, and you'll find places to report to, and those teams will get out there and they'll look for it. And again, you might corroborate somebody else and then, let them, forward it to whoever. So, if you don't feel comfortable doing it yourself, but that's how we keep these things where we can track them and we can find out, oh, there's like 20 sightings in June of 1986. Suddenly now we know, okay, the two crazy reports from June of 1986 weren't crazy. There were things going on then. So
exactly.
Please, if you saw something, say something. If your grandfather saw something and said he saw it in this place at one time, write it down, send it to one of these organizations so they can document it.
Exactly. Also, it helps you feel like you're not a crazy person.
Yep. Because or you can send it to your favorite podcast hosts at eerietravels.com and we'll get it to the right places. So
and we'll read it on the air.
So yes, too. Yeah, we'd love to.
Internet famous with
yes.
The travelers. So but speaking of traveling, some, police officers have a little bit of a problem in their travels.
Oh yeah, so this is from our new favorite news source and a wonderful sponsor of Eerie Travels. So this is our plug, gang. This is Paranormality Magazine, our wonderful place. They have this report. This is on their website, not on in the magazine, so you can read this one for free. And it is in England. 2 police officers were reportedly startled by a spectral sound of a ghost train that ran along an abandoned railway line. Joe Stafford and Whitney Holmes Small, 2 police constables stationed in Swadlincote Police Station, were startled as the immense rumble shook the area just as they were heading out on patrol. And they heard the horn echoing through the air. The nearby trees rustled in response, as if a giant train was coming. But there are no train tracks for miles. And they looked into local history and found out there used to be a railway line there, but it had been abandoned many, many years ago, and the line had been removed. So the spokesman for the Swadlincote Police Safer Neighborhood Team said, PC Joe Stafford and Whitney Holmes Small were getting ready to go out into the yard at the police station when they suddenly heard a loud rumble. Looking at one another, they realized the sound was getting closer and were shocked when the leaves started to blow and the air around them moved. They both realized it was the sound of a long-lost train passing was obvious, and were slightly bewildered to hear the pip of the horn as the noise of the locomotive rolled off into the distance. Putting on their best detective caps, they decided to start making some inquiries and were shocked and bemused by finding out their Swadlincote railway station existed there where the fire station now sits. Subtle clues to the area's past are left in plain sight. So wow. Very cool. The whole story is up on that website. And if you go to paranormality.mag.com, you can also order back issues. You can subscribe to their newsletter. You can subscribe to their magazine. And if you enter the code TRAVELS, you'll get a small discount and help our show because you let them know, hey, it was worth their time to talk to us. So,
if you're listening to our show, you obviously love the weird. So This entire magazine is dedicated to that. But I have to say, Mark, when you just told me what you told me, I couldn't help but think of one of my favorite movies that has a ghost train in it.
What's that?
Ghostbusters 2.
Oh, yes. I still think my favorite part now was when the Titanic showed up and Cheech has the line, well, better late than never.
Yes, please. I have to say that was a fun, spooky one. I enjoyed that one very, very much.
Underrated. I like it as much as the first one. I know some people.
So we're doing listener tales. Let's do some listener tales.
Oh, yes. So I wanted to start with the episodes have been going up on YouTube now. So if you can follow us on YouTube at Eerie Travels. And we're mixing in some videos of our journeys and stuff. We do the TikTok, we do the Instagram, we do all that, but we're now also putting some stuff back up on YouTube. But we've also put the episodes up there for people who don't have the podcast, programs of choice. And so we've gotten some comments, and we did the Brooksville episode of Florida Haunts a little while back. Remember that, where we talked all about the May Stringer house and some of the other ghostly areas around the haunted town of Brooksville.
Yeah.
And we got some great comments, and I'm going to read the first one. And this one is from Blindy Sama Jake. I love YouTube names. My late grandmother had a Victorian house in Maine. Wish I could have bought it. It even had servant stairs leading up from the first floor up to our back bedroom on the second floor. The room was filled with dolls. My grandmother always.
I hate dolls. Oh,
yes. My grandmother always put me in this room when I was up there visiting. It was very odd, and even as a grown man, I've slept with the lights on in that room. That house and the house I grew up in, I believe, are early, somewhat haunted. I think that's really somewhat haunted, or at least maybe some of the items in it. Maybe it's even me a little bit. LOL, as I throw salt all around me. So, Sama, thank you so much. Sama Jakes, thank you for sending us that. Feel free to send us more information about your original home, and we'd love to hear that story, and what all, and maybe if you're haunted, we'd love to hear you talk about it too. So
and we'll do research. If you guys give us some details, we'll do some research into things, because we love doing research.
Yeah, we have connections that can get us even more information. So
exactly. I'm just gonna let everybody know in advance, be nice to dolls. You never know what's occupying there. Some of our favorite friends. So
some of our favorite friends, you have to write them letters if you don't. So
yeah, exactly. Be super nice to the dolls.
Yes.
Okay. This next one is from, maybe it's Nito. It's interesting that this is an episode on Brooksville, as I lived there shortly in the 1980s. My neighbor at the time were nice older couple. They were evangelical Christians, but they were very superstitious. They kept a weird dried grass doll on a planter in front of their house, and they claimed it was cursed. They said it couldn't be thrown away or destroyed, that it just had to sit out there until it rotted away. I believe that they said their son had brought it back from an island or something. I don't think they were kidding. They owned the mobile home that we rented, and the one across the street from it, which was empty. They claimed they would not rent that one because it was haunted. I remember the husband going into some detail with my father about the entity haunting the place, but I can't reliably remember it now. Of course, at 7 years old, I believed it. I remember the door would open and close in the wind a lot, which kept me well spooked. The other weird thing is I remember hearing from several adults at the time not to play in the pine tree woods there. They said it was full of cobras. Someone had released some, and they were running wild now. I never saw anyone living there.
I have never heard of cobras in Brooksville, but that forest near there does have wild boars and some other animals that would and there's plenty of enough snakes in Florida that want to kill you too. So
yeah. But there are some things to unpack here.
I was about to say, that's a lot. A Christian family that believed that their trailer was haunted, which is usually, sometimes that doesn't go hand in hand.
Well, and I kind of wonder, obviously we're listening to a 7-year-old's perspective on this, which, by the way, maybe it's Nito. Thank you for the story.
Yes, but, incredible story.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if, being the religious part of this, which I don't know a lot about evangelical Christians, so I'm not speaking from a point of I know what I'm talking about, but I almost wonder if haunted versus demonic presence to choose not to. And I think it's interesting that they chose not to rent it. They chose not to subject somebody to it, but they also just kind of left it there.
And again, another haunted doll in Brooksville. But the plus side is I like the bit of just leaving it there, and that, you can't destroy it. You have to let it be reclaimed by the earth. That is a common thing among the Gullah culture. which, South Carolina and that area, which would have been, transported slavery over this area, that would have, that could be from that, because that was their way of, was letting it absorbed by the earth, let it return to parts per million where it just gets ground down. You don't throw it away. And that's, if you go out into the Green Swamp, which is not far from that area, you'll find plantations and stuff, old homesteads, old, even farm equipment, cars, stuff like that, just left to ruin because you don't salvage them, you don't reclaim them, you let them be reabsorbed by the earth. And that's a very common tradition in that area of Central Florida, which is weird, but
it is weird, but also something for our travelers to keep in mind. If they go in a place and they encounter a place, just because something's left behind, do not assume that it's yours for the taking and that there wasn't a reason it was left behind. Especially
in the forests near Brooksville. And considering that whole area was, part of the Seminole Wars, and there's the whole Dade City battleground. There's several native burial grounds around there. It's that whole area, as we discussed, is a hotspot. So definitely go back, listen to that episode, gang. You'll learn a lot more about it. So
yeah, absolutely. Okay. Wow. Well, thank you for those comments. That are amazing. But Mark, you get our first listener email,
listener stories. Yes. This was so on February 6, 2023, we were emailed by a man who'd recently seen a low-flying UFO, or UAP as they're called now, over the DuPont State Recreational Forest, which is, I looked it up, it's a little southwest of Hendersonville, North Carolina, so up near your area.
Oh, my neck of the woods.
Yeah, he saw it from Crab Creek Road, near the intersection of DuPont Road, which heads straight into the recreational forest. And so here is his email. I observed the object for around 3 minutes as it traveled from the southwest toward the northeast. It was about half the size of my thumb at arm's length when I first saw it. But when it flew directly over me, it looked to be about the size of 2 large SUVs, and there was no sound whatsoever. From a distance, it was a thin oval of soft flickering light, but it blacked out the sky as it flew over me. It was moving super slow until it was about 100 yards beyond me. Then it pitched up rapidly and went south toward Cedar Mountain. About 5 to 6 years ago, my wife and I saw another UFO directly over Cedar Mountain when the National Guard had a heavy presence there. I was told that the National Guard was conducting training and aiding in a civil and environmental engineering project. What they were doing was confusing and strange, like roads bulldozed all through there that were never used. So now this man did not want his name read aloud, but he was very happy to send this to us, and we were very happy to read it out there. So if anybody in February of this year saw something low flying over the South North Carolina there, and heading in towards South Carolina, especially near that DuPont State Recreational Forest, which is a pretty good sized forest. Yeah. Now, my follow-up with this man, I sent him an email just to describe it, because he said, it was very oval shaped and all that. But when it got closer and he realized how black it was, he realized that oval shape was just the light in the center of it. And that the black shape might have been one of our black triangle craft that we've discussed for many, many times. And they are known for going super slow, like speed so slow that it doesn't make sense unless they were like balloons. But then they speed up and fly off at incredible speeds.
And what's interesting is they're also very well known for not making noise.
Noise at all. Yes. It's incredible. And people think these is a new phenomena that they've been around since the 1980s and the 1990s. Oh, and it's they're testing new aircraft and military aircraft, and and it's coming up like that, or bringing back dirigibles. At one point we were actually thinking about it, but now with all the balloon issues of late, probably a wise thing we didn't. But these things, that ball of light in the center seems to be the one common denominator of all of them. and that it maybe it's pushing against the ground, like emitting light beams or something, like some sort of anti-gravity device. And recently our friends at Wild and Weird Radio, they did a whole episode on black triangles, and it's incredible. Listen, if you guys want to go listen to that, we'll delve into it a little later when I got a couple more experts on the hook. But that one of the things they found that a lot of people don't talk about is the Nuremberg sighting. It was a 1500s sighting, 1500 AD.
Really?
Not a military aircraft at this point.
No.
And it described a very similar craft of a black triangular shaped craft over entire city of Nuremberg, Germany. And it flies overhead and moves very slowly and doesn't make a sound. And a lot of these, but then it is also greeted by other craft that are different shapes and sizes, including cigar shape, cylindrical, oval shape, and even cross-shaped things.
Maybe there's just a bunch of teenage aliens having a kegger here.
I think it was a battle. I think we witnessed a battle that we were just not part of. We were just happened to be the battlefield.
Well, that's probably a good thing that we weren't part of it, because I don't know that we would have done well there.
Yeah. It was a little crazy. So, but anyway, yeah. So black triangles, definitely a thing, and they move super slow and they are giant. And, thank you so much for that email. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely. And I'm going to have to go check it out here. So if I get abducted, you know where I've been. It's fine.
I sent it off to MUFON, and we'll see if they if it goes up on the database. I'm sure it will. So
yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, I think we got to take a quick break. We'll be back with our listener tales.
Eerie, Appalachia. Gear up for a frightful jaunt into the darkest reaches of the ancient Appalachians. Folks deep within the Appalachian hollers lean close to the campfire to share stories of the inexplicable with hushed awe. Monsters rumbling in the hills, strange lights darting through the pitch black night sky, horrible occurrences almost ineffable in their bizarre tragedy. Tall tales, you might say. Tell that to the Flatwoods monster in Braxton County, West Virginia, or the Goat Man of Louisville. Look into his humanoid eyes and let him know you don't believe. And what of those apparitions in Mammoth Cave's Corpse Rock, or the Satan spawn known as the Jersey Devil? How do you respond when confronted by these mysteries? From the metaphysical energy that swirls near Serpent Mound in Ohio to Point Pleasant's Mothman legacy, Mark Muncy and Carrie Schultz explore the dark history lurking in the shadows of Appalachia. Read by Mark Muncy, author and experts on strange folklore with appearances on shows such as Ancient Aliens, The Curse of Robert the Doll, and many, many more.
Greetings, mortals and others. I'm Dick Terhune, the voice from hell. I work with haunted attractions all over the US, Canada, and Europe to increase audiences and enhance their experience with highly effective commercials, narrations, animatronic character voices, whatever your dark heart desires. Let me help you do more, scare more, profit more. Find out more at Voice from Hell on Facebook and at voicefromhell.com.
Okay, we're back, and it's my turn. Let's see.
I am loving these. These are incredible. Thank you all so much for sending them in.
Yes. And then you don't just have to hear mine and Mark's stories.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. We received the following email from a U.S. Air Force veteran, so he kept his name out. And of course, when I read this happened January 6, 2023. When I tell you where it happened, if you had a similar thing, let us know. Please. Well, if you had any UFO sightings, let us know. But so let's see. This is it's going to be said. Okay. And keep in mind, when we're reading listener tales, we're just reading them as is. We do not edit. We don't do that sort of thing. It's your story. We're reading your story. So here we go. I saw something very strange today. About 3:30 in the afternoon, clear blue skies, enjoying the ride. I was returning from Gatlinburg on 441 through the Great Smoky Mountain National Park and had passed the Tennessee line coming down the mountain when I saw a flash on the left of the ridge line. Okay, so I live right next to 441. Now I'm getting a little Ooh. Okay. I then saw a massive silver metallic object between the peaks. It seemed to be moving at the same direction I was traveling and disappeared and showed at the next dip of the ridge line. I heard no sound, saw no lights or windows. I pulled over and I was trying to rationalize what I saw and couldn't. I think it was cigar shaped, but it did not see the leading edge, only the trailing edge. Oh, sorry. I did not see the leading edge or the trailing edge, only the center mass. I can't wrap my head around it. I'm an Air Force veteran and I have worked the flight line, and nothing about this makes sense. I was curious, frightened, and strangely enough, very angry afterwards. I thought I'd put it out to see if somebody else saw it too.
Yep. He has asked us to share this. And the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, Friday afternoon, January 6, 2023. If you saw something, say something, please. This man, it angered him. He was very disturbed by seeing something he could not explain. This is a man who's an Air Force vet. He's worked on many a craft, and this one didn't make sense to him. So,
and it's very well. First of all, I live here, so now again, if I disappear, it's an abduction, and I just want everybody to get that straight.
If I disappear, it's the Men in Black.
I know that I'm 100% sure of, and they'll eventually come one day. But it's interesting because when you go through emotions with something that you can't quite put in some sort of logical frame of reference, right? You can't explain it. And I see where this gentleman could get very mad about it, because what do you do with this?
Yeah. I mean, this does not make sense. You've been told your whole life, this is not real. This can't be real. This is movies. This is Hollywood. This is, you're crazy if you believe this, so,
but apparently not. Apparently not.
Yes. Yeah. That was, man, that's the stuff that gives me I love it. I love it. Yeah. This is the kind of stuff that, and if we can get other people who saw it or can back this up, oh my gosh, that's incredible. And I understand exactly driving that ridge line and you see, stuff floating out there, and then you drive past a bunch of trees and it's still there, that, you sit there and go, wow, what am I seeing? What is this? And, and it might be as simple as, oh, the Goodyear blimp was flying over that area and we didn't, and it was just at a weird angle. But, that's what they'll say anyway. But, as they cover it up. I mean, that's the thing about, the Phoenix lights, right, was a famous sighting back in the day. We'll get into that in another episode. Yeah. But again, they said, oh, it was a bunch of flares being thrown by a plane. Well, that was the second sighting hours later, where we think the military actually sent up a plane to shoot off flares because they were trying to hide the fact that something weird had happened earlier that millions of people had seen, and they were calming people down. So, that's the sort of stuff you start spiraling into with this stuff. But for this one, it's interesting. Yeah. I love it. That's a great description. It could have been cigar shaped, but he only saw the center mass. So that's the kind of thing, if someone's making it up, they're going to give you all the details and, describe things that they couldn't possibly, have seen in a 30-second glance driving along 441. This one, I give this one a lot of weight.
So. I agree with you 100% on that. Okay. Next up, my friend.
Well, this one was a lot of fun because we were recently at Pensacon up in Florida. It was actually our first real time plugging the podcast and not just plugging our books. Right. And so we were pleased to meet a lot of people who knew the show already. We got a lot of new subscribers from that event.
We ran out of stickers, which who knew there'd be such a rush?
I know, we ran out of stickers so fast. It's like, and Carrie, my wonderful wife, is making more sticker design. She's updating the design to give us more stickers soon. So,
very cool.
Watch for us at the Eerie Travels website. Join us at a future event. Go to the events page, and it'll have it links right to our Facebook page as well that has all of our events. So,
and if you want a sticker, come up to us. If we have stickers, please. We will give them to you unless there's a rush.
show us you're subscribed, and free sticker. Can't go wrong with that, right? And if you're not subscribed, subscribe then in front of us, and we'll give you a sticker too. So they are legally binding contracts. So if you have it on your car or your laptop, you are bound to us. So that's that's just how it goes. We have Faye that are working with us on this. So
exactly,
right.
They know
know your true name.
Yeah.
All right. So this one was one of the guys came up to me at Pensacon, told me he had a story, and I'm like, please reach out. And so he did, and I was very happy with this. So I like this one because it says, "Hi, Mark. Hey, hi. I was one of the guests at your panel during Pensacon and stayed after to get your contact information so I could reach out to you regarding an incident that happened just up the road from where I live. This happened back during the summer of 2021. I live in the Pace, Florida area, which is many heavily wooded areas, and I often went for runs around midnight. One night, I did my typical route through the Wallace Lake area, and after roughly 3 miles, I realized my dog had followed me. I couldn't hear him chasing me since I had the earbuds in, so I began walking home to make sure he wouldn't run off somewhere without me. Once I had made it to the hill that leads to my house, my dog began to act very tense, which wasn't usual for him, but I didn't think anything of it at first. But once we made it halfway down the hill, he froze and began to whimper. He's usually not cowardly. If something catches his attention, he's prone to chase after it and investigate. When he started acting this, I felt a little more anxious because I assumed it must have been a coyote or a fox. And when I got this thought, he then went from whimpering to trying to let out a few barks. And this is when I felt something odd was happening. As soon as he barked, I heard movement in the trees just across the street from where I was standing. When this happened, I shined the flashlight from my phone, but all I could make out was a patch of some kind of shiny surface. I was about to approach the area to investigate, but suddenly a car began to come down the hill. The speed limit for going down the hill is 20 miles per hour, so the car was going pretty slow and the brights were on. As the car began to come closer, the lights began to light up the area, and I began to get a better image at what was scaring my dog, but I didn't get a good look at it until the car was just 15 feet away from us. As soon as the light hit the area the thing was standing in, I could see a tall, human-like figure. The thing was tall, thin, had no features other than a glossy-like skin and no facial features at all. It was just faceless.
Oh, I don't like that. Oh, yeah. Like the dolls, I don't like that. No.
As soon as the car drove past and the light went away, I just impulsively began running. I obviously made it home, and my dog did too, but I was very shaken up by what I saw. My brother and I came back later to investigate, but found no signs of anything. I have been told by a lot of supernatural enthusiasts that it must have been a shadow person. But to my knowledge, shadow people don't have physical forms, and this entity was able to move branches, and it freaked my dog out really bad. I have no idea what I saw. I hope this message wasn't too sloppy. I had to type it up pretty quick. So thank you so much for that. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So, Erika, your thoughts?
Oh, my first thought is trust your animals.
Yes.
This is true inside houses. Trust your animals. If they are reacting, they tend to see things before we do as humans. Yep. So yeah, good job on paying attention. But
And when I read this to a friend, one person, was like, why is he jogging at midnight? I'm like, it's Florida. It's the only time you can jog and not die of heat stroke, is around midnight. So,
it's true. We don't know what his life and work schedule is like. Let's not judge.
But also, honestly, when I take my walks, it's late at night because otherwise that sun is brutal. And, you don't want to just go out walking during the day because you'll melt, period. Or burst into flames like Mary Reeser in St. Petersburg. But we'll talk about her another time.
But so wasn't there? It's interesting, the facial thing. So that's what's throwing me off.
The glossy skin is what I've drawn to, because he says it several times where it was shiny and and glossy. So very, I'd like to think, very seal-like. It sounds very much like our old buddy, the Grafton monster. But the fact that it's thin and tall and human-like and no other features, literally faceless. I see why people say shadow figure, but glossy, that's not shadow figure.
But isn't there a creature up in that area? What from the swamp? What is it called again?
Oh, the Honey Island swamp monsters in that area, and there's the Rougarou nearby there. That whole area has a lot of skinwalker type creatures that we would call them out west, but
that's what I was going to jump to. Is I wonder if it was a skinwalker.
It could have been. The glossy skin has, a lot of people say rake. I'm not still certain rakes are not just a creepypasta thing that were, invented for modern folklore, but this glossy skin gives me a feeling of something, otherworldly, alien.
It could be, or it could just be reflective. Like you say, glossy skin, you shine bright lights on something. It can be somewhat reflective, or it could have been wet.
Yep. Or, as we've been saying now with these, high strangeness things, there are definitely, portals reported in that area, especially near Pace, Florida, that, up in the forest areas up there, people have said they've seen some weird things. And so this could be something extra dimensional as well. And the fact that it just kind of stood there and, was menacing, and then the car drove by, and then, then he takes off. That's smart. When you get the good look and you realize this is wrong and it's not of this earth. Yeah. Then run. Feel free. You've already documented it. You're good. You're safe. Run.
Yeah, exactly. Because no matter what you do, it's going to end badly. So
next thing you'll be on missing 411, and we don't want that. So
no, exactly. Well, you know what? How about listeners, fellow travelers? Why don't you let us know? Have you ever encountered something like this? Like, let us know what your thoughts are, because Mark's going more otherworldly, other dimension, and I'm going maybe skinwalker, because they do talk about these skinwalkers not having a shape until they tragically take the shape of something like you after they kill you, or other creatures. Maybe it hadn't shifted.
Yeah, it could be mid-transformation, which why is faceless.
Yeah. So. Oh, super creepy, faceless. Oh, not going running at midnight. I also would love to know, our lovely listener, whether or not you're still running at midnight, because guess what would happen? I would never leave my house again in the dark. So.
I would certainly take a different run.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Although part of me is sitting there going, no, I'm going back there to see if I can see it again and get a better, this time I'd be bringing a camera.
Well, I was going to say also, hey, paranormal investigators that are listening.
Yeah.
Something to
Florida
look into.
area.
Yeah.
We got to talk to our buddy Connor Flynn's up that area. He could probably head that way.
There we go. Okay. Our final email. Here we go.
Oh man, already.
Yeah. Good morning, Eerie Travels.
Hey,
good morning.
Good morning to you. Or good afternoon or good evening, wherever you're listening to us.
Yes. Especially on your midnight run. What a way to get creeped out listening to us on your midnight run. Okay. I just wanted to pop in and tell you how much I'm enjoying the podcast and can't wait to see what the future holds for you guys.
Oh, yay.
Thank you.
Shout out. Love that.
Yeah. Okay. I was listening to your most recent podcast and thought I would pop in with a story of my own. That is what we love.
Yes,
one of many in my lifetime.
Oh, good. So there may be more from this listener. So
yes. Yeah. Okay. My name is B, she, her. Okay. We're doing abbreviations. I'm here to tell you guys about a super fun time that happened a few years ago at my brother's apartment. My young daughter, 8, and I went to stay for the weekend to visit my brother, M. We lived about 2 hours away from each other and didn't get a chance to visit as much as we liked. His apartment was haunted.
Oh, wow. Right off the bat.
We're just going there. I love it. Okay. His apartment was haunted. And that is something I knew from the moment he moved in.
Oh, okay. So she's sensitive to this.
Yeah. No, obviously. We eventually were told that 2 owners before M had gotten suddenly very sick and passed away in the front room of the house.
Great way to lower rent.
Yeah. Ugh. We both had many encounters while there. This one night in particular was something else. It just felt off, like we were being constantly watched. Oh, I hate that. Oh, I just got chills. I hate the being constantly watched thing.
That is the worst feeling.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. I'll continue, but whoa. Okay.
Our haunted Airbnb, when I saw the face looking down, I was like, nope, done.
Yeah. I love that we have the same approach on these things. We're like, nope, we're not doing this. Okay. At this point, his rental, about 5 years in, my brother had started sleeping in the spare room because the master bedroom made him uneasy. My daughter and I settled into bed around 11 p.m. in the master. I shut the bathroom door, making sure to hear the click before tucking us both in and falling asleep. About 2 hours later, I felt my daughter wake up and head to the bathroom. She opened the door, turned on the light, and started talking to someone. Oh, no. No. Oh my God. Why am I reading this story? It's freaking me out. Okay. I couldn't hear what she was saying exactly, but less than 3 minutes later, she turned the light off and came back to bed. I asked her who she was speaking to, but didn't say, just stared at me. She didn't say. I wasn't too weird to me, and she suffered from some sort of sleepwalking night terrors until she was 6.
Okay, so
she climbed back in the bed and was fast asleep in minutes. Oh, any of this. I got up to shut the door again and went back to bed. Less than an hour later, I heard the click of the bathroom door, and it slowly started to open. With my child sleeping soundly beside me, I knew whatever she was speaking to in that bathroom was trying to get her attention again. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I can finish this story. This is freaking me out. Okay.
Oh man. I'm tense.
Yes.
Crazy.
Literally, I'm sweating. Making sure to hear the click. I gathered all my courage and walked over to the door, closed it again, making sure to hear the click.
Good for them.
As I was walking
We're not welcome
back.
here.
Yeah, well, we'll see how good it is. As I was walking back to bed, I heard it open behind me. I was pissed. I turned her. First of all, kudos to you, listener, for getting mad.
Yep. Yeah.
Because I think me and Mark right now would have been like, we're leaving.
I'd have been under the covers because covers are magic. Monsters can't hurt you under the covers.
That's true. Okay, I was pissed. I quickly turned around and yelled into the darkness. I told it firmly that it needed to stop trying to scare us, that it wasn't going to work, and I needed to get some rest. I turned the light on in the bathroom and closed the door again and headed to bed. Luckily, it listened and didn't try anything else the rest of the night.
Oh, light. The light is the secret there.
Yeah.
And the intent, the power of intent.
Okay. Let's see. I asked my my daughter, I can use real words. She says daughter. That was my mess up. I asked my daughter in the morning who she was talking to in the bathroom. She had no memory of even getting up. Em and I know it was the previous owner just checking in, trying to get a rise out of us. Wow. I have so many other stories I'll share in the future. Please do.
Yeah, please do. That was amazing.
Yes. Stay spooky, my friends. B.
Man. Staying spooky. Definitely.
Oh, my goodness.
So that's a lot to unpack. Holy cow.
That is. So, Mark, what are your first thoughts?
Well, I love that they already knew that somebody had died there. The two owners before. So I'm thinking it wasn't two owners. I think it was saying 2 owners ago. So not the last one, the one before.
Yeah.
And the fact that she already knew it was haunted and that they had encounters there, that tracks. I get that a lot from people is that, oh, I knew my uncle's house was haunted. We've known it for years. We just don't talk about it. It's just one of those things. That happens. Callie would chime in if they weren't busy in the back there. That we had places that we've been that well-known haunting, and it's just matter of fact, it's haunted. We just deal with it. the daughter having previous sleepwalking, and then the fact, they thought it was happening again, that tracks too, 100% legit. And then the talking to it, and and then going back to bed. Wow. And then screaming at it when the door opens because it's trying to bother your daughter again. Yes, 100%. Mama bear that crap.
Bears. Like, yes. Seriously.
Yeah, no, you don't mess with my kid. You go away.
There's so much that's terrifying. I feel like we just read a listener's story out of like Insidious or something like that. Because it's obviously, I think that children are like animals, from the last story we had, are much more susceptible to things of the weird. Kind of like, at some point we'll do an episode on invisible friends, but
oh yeah,
I firmly believe most invisible friends are ghosts,
Yeah. Well, it definitely fits. It fits the, who are we talking to? I also think some people are more in tune than others. So yeah, it's this is definitely, we want to hear more of your stories. Please send us more.
Please take advice from our last listener, and actually several listeners here. So yes. If you encounter something, definitely you don't have to challenge it, especially if you don't know what it is, because you have no idea what its abilities, powers, protection, if you don't know what you're messing with, it's kind of like, don't mess with wild animals, because you never know what they're capable of doing.
100%. 100%.
Be willing to stand up to things, because you have as much power or more power than they do. So if something's trying to creep you or your family or your friends out, stand up to it. Get them.
I mean, this is this is the sort of thing that these stories, they've got to get reported. They've got to get placed, and we need these things. We need to report them, and we need to hear these stories, and then we're sharing them so that others who are going through something similar can go, oh, I had the same thing happen, now I know what to do. And it's like, turn the light on, yell at it, tell it to go away, leave your kid alone. That is, some of these things don't understand what they're doing. It's we don't understand the rules. And again, this is stuff we are not scientifically studying properly, and we should. And hopefully, if enough of this stuff gets out there, eventually we hit that tipping point where it goes from pseudoscience to science, and we can study it more and learn what rules we're breaking, and keep it from happening.
Well, that, or learn how to, adjust to it, or have it move on. Like, we talked about the doll earlier on, which is also still creepy. God, we have some creepy ones today. But you don't know what the thing is, and it's best to kind of get some knowledge on it. Curses are kind of scary things. So
yes, ain't that the truth? Oh my gosh.
But thank you, travelers, for our first listener episode.
Oh, it was amazing. And wow, we can't ask for more, but we're gonna ask for more. Please send us more. We want all the listener tales, and we want all the things. So please send us all your things. And one of the other things, of course, we've got to thank our sponsors. We got to thank the wonderful Destiny Beard for playing us out today and playing us in. We also want to thank Paranormality Magazine again for, if you want creepy headlines every day, and you got us a few times a week now, but definitely then, if you want those, get to paranormalitymag.com and sign up for their subscription. If you order the magazine, use the code word travels and get a bit of a discount, and it helps the show. This month's issue, the March issue, had an interview with one of our favorite authors, Jim Butcher, talking about mythology and stuff like that, and how he works into his books. But they also talk about Ohio, land of the monsters, in this issue, which is we talked about the Loveland Frogman in a recent issue. So in a recent episode of ours.
Check it out and use the code TRAVELS.
Yes, please. Code TRAVELS, or follow the link in our show notes. So
absolutely
right to it. So but
very cool.
Oh my gosh. This was fun. I want more of this.
I want more of this. I'm going to go sage every part of my body right now and like my entire house.
Yeah.
So
I'll be using salt water for the shower. So it's all good.
Salt water. I'm going to put salt around the doors. So many things to protection. Oh, we should do an episode on that. Okay, I'm going to make a note. But guys, it has been so much fun to be here with you.
Oh, thank you so much, gang. And as always, we'll see you on the other side.